As I rise today, the world is engaged in a high-stakes competition. The country that wins this competition will not only produce jobs today, it will dominate the industries of the future. The competition is the race to create clean energy jobs. I want America to win. And the United States Congress will play a key role in deciding whether we do. But before I talk about the decision we have to make, I want to be clear about a decision that America does not have to make. We don't have to decide whether clean energy will be the industry of the future. It will. The clean energy industry is primed to produce millions of jobs in the coming years. The question is whether these jobs will be in America. We have to answer that question, this question now. If we put our minds to it, Americans can produce the clean energy technologies that will power the future. The country that invented the light bulb, the automobile, and the internet is not going to finish last when it comes to developing new ideas. But we need policies that promote innovation. Right now, we are falling behind. Progressive policies have given other countries a lead. With a population roughly 1/4 as large as America's, Germany has more than twice as many workers developing wind energy and solar photovoltaic technologies. By 2020, more Germans will be producing clean energy than are producing German cars. Spain has almost 5 times as many workers in the solar thermal industry as the United States. China has more than 300 times as many. Do we really want to lose this race to Germany, to Spain, to China? Some have argued that America cannot lead on climate change, that we need to wait for countries like China and India to act first. This would be incredibly short-sighted. If America solves our energy problems first, every country on earth will be begging for the technologies we develop. If we don't, we will be begging for technologies developed elsewhere. America has always prospered by being one step ahead. We mass-produced the car, and American manufacturing built the middle class. We sparked the IT revolution, and our high-tech industry still gives us high-paying jobs. Today, being one step ahead means developing the clean energy technologies of the future before anybody else does. Waiting for China to address its emissions problem before we address ours is like waiting for an opponent to finish the race before we start to lace up our shoes. China's not waiting for America to act. It's already implemented strong policies to promote clean energy. Chinese fuel efficiency economy standards are higher today than ours will be in 2020. They have already set a 15% renewable energy standard for 2020, and their government recently said they could reach 20%. And in 2009, China became the world's largest clean energy investor. It plans to spend nearly $500 billion over 10 years to ensure clean energy jobs come to China. And China's policies have already begun to pay off. It is now the leading manufacturer of wind turbines, and it has 65% of the world's solar thermal water heating market. China even beats us in industries we created. America invented solar photovoltaics, but China now dominates that market while America comes in 10th. I'm not content to let other countries keep beating us at our own game. It's time to act. The clean energy bill currently being developed in Congress is the kind of action we need. It is a distinctly American solution to this global problem because it relies on private markets and private businesses, and that is why it provides real change with minimal costs. Of course, some people will claim that this plan breaks the bank. Defenders of the status quo never run out of excuses to do nothing. They have made huge profits polluting our air, and clean energy is a threat to them. Now, the same people who denied the science of global warming will tell you that a clean energy solution is too expensive. They were wrong about the science then, and they are wrong about the economics now. In 1990, polluters told America we could not afford the Clean Air Act, a bipartisan bill signed by our Republican president. History has shown that the act actually cost 1/40th of what they said it would. The best independent estimate about this bill comes from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, and they say it will cost Americans less than 50 cents per day. And the CBO numbers likely overestimate costs. To keep their analysis simple, they ignore the impact of increased efficiency. When you factor in efficiency, New Mexicans will probably end up ahead about $4 per month on their energy bills, and low-income New Mexicans will save even more. The most expensive energy policy America can pursue is the status quo. In 2006, I introduced a clean energy bill similar to the bill we are considering now. The month I introduced it, gas prices were at about $2.25 per gallon. Critics claimed clean energy would drive up prices, and Congress never acted. By 2008, the price of gas had nearly doubled to a high of $4.11. And much of the money America spends on gas flows right out of this country. Today, the U.S. is importing nearly 70% of its oil. We sent roughly $4,280 per U.S. family out of the country in 2008 to pay for oil. And too much of that money goes to individuals who finance terrorism and regimes that don't like Americans. Some will say that the solution is increased oil production, and I support increased production. My home state of New Mexico is one of 10 that produces more oil than it consumes, and I'm proud that we help meet America's energy needs. But increased production alone is not enough. America has just 3% of the world's oil reserves. More than 66% of those reserves, those that are left, are in Russia, Iran, and 6 other countries in the Middle East. The more we depend only on fossil fuels, the more American money will flow to these countries. When it comes to energy, we have to do it all, and we have to do it now. Since comprehensive clean energy legislation was first introduced in 2003, we have sent trillions of dollars abroad every year to pay for oil. Actually, and in fact, $700 billion a year. We cannot afford 6 more years of delay. But the status quo doesn't just threaten our economy and our security. It threatens the basis of our way of life. Scientists predict that global warming could give my home state of New Mexico the same climate as the Sonoran Desert in Chihuahua, Mexico. If that happens, farmers who've worked the land for generations will be forced out of business. Forest fires will become more common and more dangerous. Our communities will face a bleak economic future. For the children of my state and our country, we cannot afford to stay on this path. Fortunately, America has what it takes to change course. Even without progressive policies on the national level, New Mexico has begun to create massive numbers of clean energy jobs. Between 1998 and 2007, clean energy jobs grew 25 times faster than other jobs. We call these the jobs of the future. Increasingly, they are also the jobs of today. There are too many success stories to tell, but I want to mention just one. Just 3 weeks ago, a company called Shot Solar opened its second renewable technologies plant in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The plant currently employs 300 people, and it comes just 2 months after the company opened a plant that will eventually employ 1,500. Shot decided to locate these plants in New Mexico after our state passed a series of clean energy incentives. What I like most about this story is that Shot is a German company. It looked at New Mexico's policies and decided to invest German money in creating American jobs. For years, while American policymakers failed to act, American investors sent our capital to Germany. Now, New Mexico's forward-looking policies are helping to reverse the flow. What that tells me is that with the right policies, America can lead the world in this crucial industry. We can stop creating jobs in Saudi Arabia and start creating them in Socorro, New Mexico. We can stop letting China develop our technologies and sell them back to us. We can win the clean energy revolution the same way we won the high-tech revolution, by getting there first. Or we can wait and watch the world pass us by. I think the choice is clear. I hope you do. I hope you do also. And I hope you join me in supporting the Senate's clean energy legislation when it comes to the floor.